he kind of is one of my favorite actor or previously favorite actors. So,
who's your favorite actor now?
good question. Vin Diesel? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
The D's.
Yeah. D's nuts. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
I'm going to cut that out for sure. Oh, man. Gotta make it appropriate for our audience. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Work Time Fun Podcast. I'm your coworker L, and let's get started. On today's podcast, we are going over a new anime that just came out called Solo Leveling. It's available on Crunchyroll and some other anime websites, if you may. And on today's podcast as well, I'm joined by my, I guess you could say, regular co-host now.
Raymond, a regular guest co-host.
Hey, and it's Marky.
All right, and Marky. How are you guys? How's it going?
Trying to add more flair to my intro.
Nice. I'll cut that out.
Leave it in.
Perfect. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about the new anime, Solo Leveling. And actually, just a quick overview. What do you guys thought of it? Positive, negative?
Want me to go first?
I mean, just really quick before
yeah.
we jump in.
It was enjoyable.
Okay.
Yeah. This is my first, I think, Korean anime, Manhwa, I believe.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Well, it's a Japanese anime. It's
Is it?
based off of Korean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's based on a manhwa, which is a Korean manga, basically, or a webtoon, and it's converted into a Japanese anime. So it's kind of weird because they all have Korean names and Korean places, but they're at least in the version that we're watching as Japanese-speaking dub with a Korean name, so it's kind of weird in English subtitles for me. So.
No, I watched on the same website, so I saw the same thing.
Gotcha. And also, spoiler warning, we are going to be discussing, I believe, all 3 episodes that are out, correct?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just
Okay.
Yeah.
get to the
They're
most
pretty
current
short,
episode.
so.
Yeah. So I'll say, yeah, generally positive review myself. So if that's what you guys are listening to, then that's what you got. So we'll dive into it a little bit later. But for right now, actually, I kind of want to recap about last week or whatever you guys have seen, any other shows or anything you've done in the past week since we've last met.
Okay, well, I saw the first episode of MF Ghost, which was supposed to be the anime we were supposed to be reviewing this week, but we shifted gears.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I didn't really like it, but it's only one episode.
Did you watch Initial D?
No,
Okay. So
I read the manga.
You read the manga?
Some of it.
Oh, okay. So you kind of don't. It's MF Ghost by itself. I think that's why it doesn't have a lot of a big following because it kind of relies on people having watched the original not the original, but the original anime that's based off of Initial D. So if you haven't really watched it previously, you're kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, it's about racing cars, so depending if you're into cars or not.
It's also about a teenage girl who's like dressed in a bikini and does what do you call those girls that make the car start? She walks on the track.
Oh yeah, I don't know what you call them. They're like the starter girls.
Starter girl, yeah. She's our age. It's weird because there's a guy who's like creeping over her and he's like in his mid-20s.
Oh man,
That's episode 1.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair for that guy, he doesn't know that she's underage.
That's right. He's asking around for her age,
Yes.
which is still kind of weird.
Just wait till you get to like episode 6 or so. There's a real creeper guy in there.
Nice.
But anyways,
Not nice.
okay. Anything else?
That's all I watched this week.
Okay, MF Ghost. Great. Marky, anything for you?
Yeah, no, I was about to start MF Ghost, but then, because I'm an Initial D fan, but yeah, I got the feedback. Change of plans, I decided not to. But I do have the original Initial D DVD, season 1, season 2. And then I think there was like an initial stage 2, or this movie.
How many
Third
seasons
stage,
was the
fourth stage?
Fourth stage.
I
2.
think it's up to the fourth stage.
Those are seasons.
And they have
They
live
just-
action as well. Yeah.
And then there's a movie and a live action movie as well.
Yeah, I was gonna do some research on Initial D. Like it was kind of like critical to like the import car culture of like the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Like that and another anime, I forgot the name, played a big role in making that culture kind of big in the States and Europe.
I'm curious.
But we shifted gears, and I didn't do any research for this upcoming cartoon. So.
That's fine.
Or anime.
Maybe as a future episode or something, we'll see.
Yeah, sure.
Well, if you like it or not. Okay. For myself, I think the only other thing of note that I could say I've watched is a Tom Hanks movie called A Man Called Otto. And it's nothing really that great to write home about. But I did watch it. I think it was on Netflix or whatever streaming service. And I just say it's a good, heartfelt story. It's an old, grumpy man that kind of is antisocial and just, he's also kind of suicidal ever since his wife passed away. But as life goes on and his neighbors bug him and all these certain life circumstances, he actually starts becoming like a force of positivity. And it's just a really good, heartfelt story. So,
and then he kills himself in the end.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, man. Spoiler.
He does attempt it.
Yeah.
I'll spoil it that much. So suicide warning on that, or attempt warning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not actual, but aside from that, it's a pretty good heartfelt
Actually,
story.
a coincidence. I saw like parts of Castaway.
Oh, really?
Like at a hospital clinic. So I also saw some Tom Hanks.
Nice. He kind of is one of my favorite actor, or previously favorite actors. So,
Who's your favorite actor now?
good question. Vin Diesel? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
The D's.
Yeah. D's nuts. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
I'm gonna cut that out for sure. Oh man, gotta make it appropriate for our audience. Okay, so that's a pretty good recap, and I had notes about our last week's episode about some things, but I forgot my notes, so we're just gonna skip it.
Notes like
Yeah.
housekeeping or
Yeah, kind of housekeeping, like some stuff that we mentioned, but honestly, whatever, we can move on, and if anyone else notices it, then let them.
email us at worktimefunpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right.
All right.
Again, we appreciate the feedback, like I keep mentioning at the end of each episode. If there's anything that you'd like to comment or question or, I don't know, provide some feedback, just send us an email, worktimefunpodcast@gmail.com.
I guarantee you we'll read it.
For sure.
You get a lot of spam.
There's between three of us.
Your email will be read. We'll likely respond if it's not too mean.
So, on to the main topic. We are discussing a new anime called Solo Leveling. I'm watching it off some anime website myself. I know it's available on Crunchyroll. Marky, I don't know if you're watching it on Crunchyroll.
I did see it on Crunchyroll.
Okay. You also have the premium, so you can see
I do have the premium as well.
Yeah, because there are 3 episodes. I think the first one came out like January 7th, and then each Saturday or each weekend.
Right. The first episode was in English, and I saw it in English. It didn't have any subtitles available for me, but the second and third one were in Japanese with English subtitles.
Oh, that's weird.
So,
From
yeah.
Crunchyroll?
Right.
That's
It's
odd.
interesting that the dub is kind of current with the Japanese subtitles. Like the first episode's already dubbed,
Right.
and the show's brand new in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty quick.
The thing that I saw online was that actually the episodes that air in Japan on the network has like Japanese names, so it's a different.
Oh, they changed the names.
Yeah, it's like different like wordings and stuff. Like they have Japanese names for the characters and places.
Is that true?
I didn't know-
it's
I
on-
didn't
it's on
notice
your
that,
site.
no.
Yeah, but that's if you're watching in Japan,
Okay,
like the
okay.
Japanese version. So I don't know if they kind of changed it. How was like the English names and stuff?
Yeah, no, it was still Jin-Woo and...
Okay, Sung Jin-Woo.
uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know what the Japanese names were, but that's just a little
Yeah, I
side
think
note.
modern dubs they wouldn't really change the names, not like the 80s or 90s.
Oh, that's
Frank.
What the
Yeah.
frick?
So, little trippy there for me. I mentioned to these guys, it's like, okay, it's based on Korean manhwa, like a manga, but in Korean, a story. And so there's all these Korean names, but then the anime is in Japanese dub, and then I'm reading it in English subtitles. So like my mind's just tripping out over everything. Just a little bit.
Well, I couldn't read it in any other language, so that's good.
Yeah. I mean, it just trips me out hearing Japanese with Korean names, reading it in English. But
Yeah.
beyond that, that's fine. So, Okay, so I think we're going to go over all 3 episodes. I don't know if generally if you want to kind of just go over it, Marky, and just give your thoughts on it. Like
Oh,
do you
episode
wanna
one,
do-
2, 3, or
oh
all 3.
out of 5, I'd probably give it up. For the first episode, probably a 3.
How about overall?
Overall, so far, yeah,
1 through 3.
4 out of 5.
Okay.
I mean, you can see where it's starting to build up, and it's gonna go pretty hard.
Or in a work time fun
Oh, okay.
kind of category.
Let's see here. Well, I
Oh
guess
man, now you gotta think about that then.
it exceeded expectations. Plus, the episodes were short enough where I felt engaged. I still felt engaged.
I don't know. They're only like 20 minutes or so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not really any downtime. It just kept going, progressing.
So did you like it as each episode came on, or I mean, as each episode aired? Did you like it? Or
Yeah. Well, another thing is that the intros they were pretty long, so I didn't skip any of them. They cut into the actual time. So
that is true. But then
and they got into it right
Yeah.
into the first right into the beginning. They were already like battling.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool part. Actually, one other thing I'd note is that if you watch the intro, don't skip it like a normal person. You can actually see that the main character, Sung Jin-Woo, or Jin-Woo Sung,
Right.
he becomes more powerful because you see him fighting monsters like by himself.
Yeah, so I think the intros were skipped for me.
Oh, really?
Is that by default on the website that you sent me?
Yes, on that anime website, yes. We shall not name names, but
Well, we won't say the URL, but
yeah. But there is an option to actually turn that off. So,
by default,
by
I just
default,
like
it's probably on, yeah, to skip.
so I don't think I saw the intro.
I see.
Yeah, you should probably watch it for the next
Does
episode.
that add a lot or?
You get somewhat spoiled about it.
I
About the
already have an
character.
idea where it's going.
Yeah,
He's gonna be like super strong
Yeah.
at some point.
The music is kind of
70.
catchy. It's like a boy band
Because he's
speaking English.
it's called solo leveling. So
yeah.
and I know the Korean title is like only I can level up or something. So
Yeah.
the spoilers already in the title.
Oh wait, I forgot, Marky. If you could read the synopsis,
Okay,
please.
so I do have an overview here from Crunchyroll. Let me just read it. They say whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but that's not the case for the world's weakest hunter, Sung Jin-Woo. After being brutally slaughtered by monsters in a high-ranking dungeon, Jin-Woo came back with the system, a program only he could use. That's leveling him up in every way. Now he's inspired to discover the secrets behind his powers and dungeon that spawned him.
Right. And honestly, I'm not a fan of that overview from Crunchyroll.
Oh,
Were
Yeah,
you
it-
say something?
No, I said cool, but it feels like AI generated.
probably was.
Because that opening line, we mentioned this before recording. Like it's no, what doesn't kill you does make you stronger. So that line is like, it's wrong. Like it's
I don't know. It's just an American saying.
Unless it leaves you
Like-
handicapped or something, like crippled.
Like I know Raymond mentioned, it was that one song from Kelly Clarkson, right?
does it does that like idiom pre-exist? Like did that exist before the song, or
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson make up that?
No, she didn't make that up.
Yeah, it can't be that
Definitely
out of
not.
touch.
No. I mean, I don't know the history, but you can look that up. That's
Oh,
your
man.
kind of thing.
I'm just rereading make sure I'm reading it right. Yeah, no, that's wrong. It's not. Yeah, it's misleading.
Okay.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal. But anyways, from the anime side, I think it's a little bit of the intro text, but I kind of want to read it because I think it's better than the Crunchyroll one. So give me a minute here. 10 years ago, The Gate appeared and connected the real world with a realm of magic and monsters. To combat these vile beasts, ordinary people received superhuman powers and became known as hunters. 20-year-old Sung Jin-Woo is one such hunter, but he is known as the world's weakest, owing his pathetic power compared to even a measly E rank. Still, he hunts monsters tirelessly in low-rank gates to pay for his mother's medical bills. However, this miserable lifestyle changes when Jin-Woo, believing himself to be the only one left to die in a mission gone terribly wrong, awakens in a hospital 3 days later to find a mysterious screen floating in front of him. This quest log demands that Jin-Woo completes an unrealistic and intense training program or face an appropriate penalty. Initially reluctant to comply because of the quest's rigor, Jin-Woo soon finds that it may just transform him into one of the world's most fearsome hunters. I think that synopsis is a little bit better from the anime site.
seemed pretty long.
A little bit long. But that's kind of like the intro, I'd say.
Yeah. No,
The
you're
intro
right.
text.
Well, you read it in a different kind of cadence.
Yeah. Oh, I try to make it more dramatic. So.
Yeah.
I'm practicing my vocal skills here.
Right.
I would
that's
just
fine.
jump into the anime. I'd be like, let's just play it.
So, I mean, based on those different episodes and your reviews and all that, I mean, is there more you want to add to that, Mark?
No, I actually had no expectations going into this, right? Because there's a lot of RPG animes out there, so I was just thinking it was gonna be a cookie cutter one. And I guess in some ways it is, because there is that interface that he deals with leveling up. But overall, no, it caught my attention early on, and then it kept it. And you got all these overpowered enemies as well, so.
So, I mean, have you read anything about this before or prior to watching?
I saw some recaps, but I didn't think much of them. I only got like a snippet of them, and I just moved on.
Cool. So you kind of started watching this with like a fresh set of eyes.
Right.
Awesome. And then you said it compared to other ones that you've seen. Like, is there any other anime that you had in mind?
Well, what is it? There is one. I think it's Overlord.
Oh, yeah.
He uses
You
that-
sent me links to those.
Yeah.
Sent me like a bunch of clips.
Yeah, no, there's just so many other recaps.
Power
I know,
fantasy.
with like that interface as well. I just don't know all the names of them. I forgot.
Gotcha. Actually, one that came to mind for me was Sword Art Online.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of different because Sword Art Online is like these kids are playing in a VR environment, but then they get stuck in that world. But it is RPG,
Right.
Style of anime, whatever. So that's what I immediately came to my mind when I was watching this. So at least by the time we got to the third episode.
Yeah.
All right. Raymond, is there you want to jump in here?
Yeah. So I'm actually I don't watch a lot of anime, so this premise kind of feels original to me. And I'm hearing that this is a very common
It
like
is.
plot device of
Kind of,
video
yes.
game kind of mixed into like the real world. So like the closest comparison I could think of from my viewing experience is Ready Player One.
Oh.
Which kind of isn't that closely related to the show, but it's like the only like connection I could make that I've seen like in American media. Unless there's like some sort of American cartoon that has a similar plot device or premise.
Zelda?
Oh yeah, in the video game. Well,
Yeah. Video game. Yeah. Kind of. That turned into an animation.
so that's why I think it's kind of cool that we're gonna start exploring more anime moving forward, because I watched a lot of anime in like the 90s, and then I kind of stopped and watched whatever was on like Toonami or Adult Swim. So yeah, I like that anime can what do I have here? I like that anime kind of explores these strange premises. Like I don't think any other country or any other like sort of TV show or movie either in America or Europe like tries to mesh like video games with like real world. Like I like the idea like they have these portals popping up like in the middle of like a road, and they put like construction barriers around and redirect traffic. Like that's a very cool, very original thing to see like on the screen.
Yeah. Actually, I
So-
agree with you on that point, because it's like in other ones that I've seen, it's like, okay, they're set in the world of that RPG or whatever. So it's like it's that fantastical world, but it's not blended in with like the actual, present day,
Yeah.
normal society.
It's
Yeah.
like someone thought, I want to make this video game premise as realistic as possible. Let's try to bring this into the real world. And just the overall premise I think is very interesting. But I'm not aware that it's been done probably many times in the past. So
Kind of, but I think solo leveling kind of gets its own kind of flair, which eventually we'll get into.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, glad to hear that, because it's kind of refreshing that you get to see this whole new genre for yourself, right? Sort of.
right, yeah. Having said that, I'm not too high on this as you guys, but I'm kind of conflicted, like how I feel about this show. But at the same time, the 3 episodes is a very small sample size. I know where the show is going, and I think that's kind of evident in the first 2 episodes. Like I know this guy is gonna get a lot stronger and probably pummel, and so I know it's gonna take a much different turn. But from this small sample size, I'm just a little mixed.
Okay. Like, I mean, take us through each episode. Like Marky said, the first episode was pretty weak for him. Second, I guess, was getting better, right, Marky?
Right. Like you do see where it's going. It's like that 0 to hero thing. Like he starts from nothing, and he's gonna be. He's gonna be right.
Kind of like every other superhero or
Right.
anime.
And
superhero.
that system, that interface, it nudges him to keep going, or it kind of forces him. But yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about that
Right.
because the system, which
Right.
you see by kind of the end of episode 2, and then more so in episode 3.
Yeah.
But, I don't know for you, Raymond, like how you felt. Was like any episode a little bit stronger than the others, or anything that?
I guess the third episode, because it ends on a cliffhanger. Like he's like stuck in a dungeon. He's kind of losing, but
Yeah, that
he probably
lichen,
won't.
that kind of wolf thing is
Yeah,
about to
and it
attack
kind
him.
of cuts to black.
Yeah.
That's probably the best one, because I don't know. I do have issues with the first 2, but we'll go over that later.
Okay.
The third one was probably the best of the 3.
Gotcha. Overall, I mean, meet your expectations, below a little bit.
I'm gonna go slightly below.
Slightly
Even though I had no expectations.
I know, with fresh set of eyes, right? You've never read anything
Let
about
me
this.
take that back. The premise is very unique to me, and I think that probably sets some kind of expectation. Like, oh, I'm going to see something pretty original. But there's some stupid things in this show that I'll mention later that kind of brings it down a bit.
Oh, I think you can mention it now.
Okay,
You have the floor. Go ahead.
Well, so for one, I get that we have to suspend. What's that phrase? Suspend that sense of disbelief, right? Like if you watch like a Marvel movie, Captain America throws a shield and it bounces back like a rubber ball. It's like, realistically, like when he throws a shield, it's probably gonna like cut that wall in half or something. It's hard for me to suspend my sense of disbelief with this character's motivation. If that makes, you know what I mean?
His motivation in what?
Like, what's driving him to be like the weakest fighter or hunter to keep going into these dungeons? We discussed before recording that he's doing it to help pay for his mom's medical bills, maybe.
yeah.
There's a line in there where it's like he's not making any money at all.
Well, I mean,
it's implied that he's getting paid, right?
Yes.
He said that, but that's
So-
not explicitly said.
yeah, I kind of see what you mean there. So, like, early on in the episode, you see him, he's actually working, like, in construction or something,
Yeah.
right? He's carrying
He
stuff.
has a job.
He drops the cement bag or whatever down, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to be a hunter instead. And so there's enough reason for him to do that instead of continuing his normal job, which is safe. He isn't hurting himself. He isn't getting injured or nearly dying in these, low-ranked dungeons, supposedly, as a low-rank, E-rank,
Yeah.
hunter.
And everyone talks crap about him, right? Like,
Yeah.
and he
Oh, yeah, in the
apologizes. Like, I'm sorry, I'm so weak, guys.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm terrible at this.
I like in the beginning, it's like when you see two hunters like saying hi, it's like, hey, I haven't been here in a while, I'm just coming back. And then when Jin-Woo starts walking in, like, hey, Sung, what's up? How you doing? And the guy's like, hey, why is this guy so popular? He must be like awesome, right? And then what's he say?
Oh, he said, "Oh no, not really. He's actually the worst fighter." Or whatever.
And they assume that the
Hunter.
dungeon will be super easy because
Yeah.
he's going to be in it.
Yeah. And so in the beginning, you already set the expectation that if Jin-Woo is a part of the party to raid this portal or this dungeon, you know that it's going to be a pretty easy dungeon to clear. So,
And he almost gets killed in these dungeons.
Yeah.
Like, he has to have that girl, that B rank blue mage or white mage of Final Fantasy VII.
And it's not like his first time.
He's always almost getting killed, and this girl has to save him. Right. She has the healing powers. Right. I wrote her name, Juhi. Yeah. Juhi.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's like, if you're like, this kid could die at any moment.
Right.
It's like, why would he keep going to make so little? I get suspended. That's not the point, right? Suspend your sense of disbelief. Like the point is, this guy's gonna be almost killed, and like have the power level up. But like the decisions are so weird. Like he, after she heals him, and they find that path to dungeon number 2. Are we allowed to move the story
that's
along?
fine. I mean, I should just add into more of your point.
Go ahead.
Not only is he paying for his mom's medical bills, but he's also paying for his sister's
School
college.
or something?
She's in college.
Okay.
So she's college age. So she's not working. And I don't know if it's, well, whatever. We're going through all 3 episodes. But later on, it's like after he comes back from the dungeon where he almost dies, the sister, Gina, I forgot how to pronounce her name. But
That's her name.
yeah, she says, you keep getting hurt. You keep getting injured. I'm going to quit school and find a job so you can stop being a hunter.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. And then the story ends and that's it. But no, I mean, but see, him being a hunter, even as a low rank, it's enough to pay for his mom's medical bills, pay for his sister's college, and support him measly. That's why he has messed up, tattered shoes, clothes, and
What's that one little thing he has? This little diamond that he has.
yeah.
His name?
I mean, like for others that have higher rank crystals,
Yeah.
because that's the loot that they get
That's
from
the loot.
raiding these dungeons. It's enough for them to like basically retire. Like that guy that was in the beginning. He said, "Oh, I haven't been here in a year, but my wife got pregnant. You know, we're expecting a second child, so I got to work again." So him, and he's not that high level. He's probably like a D
He's
or
not an
C
E.
rank. Yeah, he's not an E.
He's
higher.
not the worst fighter in the world.
So just think if it's like a D or C,
Yeah.
just another level above, and it's able to retire this guy for like years to
Yeah.
support his family, just from whatever loot he gets from raiding. So yeah, I mean the E rank, it might not be much, but it's more than what was paying him maybe from a regular day job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But priorities. But
Yeah.
a sense of disbelief. I get it. That's not the point.
Okay.
But it's stupid. They're walking to dungeon number 2. And healer girl, Juhi, she's like, I saved you so many times. You never thank me. Like, you could buy me lunch. He's like, lunch? Like, he gets all, like, nervous and shy and all girl panicky. It's like, what are you guys talking about? Like, this guy was almost killed. And you guys are walking around in the dungeon. Like, what tone are we setting here? Like, it's tone deaf.
Well,
It's very anime. I know this is common in anime.
no, let's agree with you there because she's a B rank healer.
Yes.
So she's like miles above him, and he's
Right.
just an E rank. And then so his whatever injuries he has is like low level compared to her healing abilities as a B rank.
Yeah.
So I think another thing to like setting the tone or setting disbelief. In the very beginning, the first episode, in the very beginning, when you see that island and then all those hunters are fighting those ants.
Okay.
remember? And then like the first set of hunters that you see, they get slaughtered, right? They're basically getting decimated by all these ants. And all of a sudden, all these S rank hunters come out and save them. And then the guy that was like severely injured, thinking he was going to die, says, "Whoa, this guy's magic healing healed me instantly." And that's the power of the S rank healer. So like, you kind of are set with that tone, like, man, they're close to dying, but they could be healed by someone that's higher level.
So then they don't really take this seriously then. Like, this is not a big deal. I can heal you.
Yeah, as long as there is a healer.
Yeah.
Because the other problem is, remember when he comes into that dungeon that they're walking into?
Dungeon number 2.
And then the girl says like, no, not, well, the one that we get to see with Jin-Woo and Juhi. She's like talking to him like, oh, how come you have bandages all over? Why are you still injured? And it's because in the previous raid that he was in, dungeon, that party didn't have a healer. It was just the hunters because they're all higher level. They're all stronger
overpowered. The only
compared to
deal.
the dungeon, except for Jin-Woo.
Yeah.
He's just too weak. So they didn't have a healer in that party to heal him for that raid. So he was still injured.
And
from that.
let's stay on that point where he's like, he's injured because there's no healer there. So they go to dungeon number 2, and it's like gore porn, right? It's like overly violent, right? And she exhausts herself trying to heal him, and then there's that point. I'm jumping ahead, but we'll
Second episode.
we'll scale it back
a little bit.
But let me just jump ahead real quick. Like, there's that point towards the end of the episode where they're supposed to stay in that circle and stare at the armored
The statues.
statues, right?
Yeah.
They're advancing toward them,
Mm-hmm.
but they have to keep their eyes on them. But I guess they all chicken out one by one, and they all run through the gate.
That's because they're not sure if they can believe that
Yeah.
once that blue flame timer runs out, if they're all actually going to survive or not.
Yeah.
And so they're like, screw this.
And it's a way to get out,
Yeah.
right? Like, if I can escape, I can escape.
Yeah. Like from the first person that did it, they escaped. And,
Yeah.
they made it. So naturally, it's like a for sure thing.
Yeah.
They can't escape. And so, why take the risk of
No,
sacrificing yourself?
I get it. That scene was okay, but there's a part there where this guy's like, hey, "No, I have a family. I can't die right now," and he runs and he like runs to safety.
Yeah.
And then while what's the main character's name now?
Jinwoo?
Jin-Woo, while he's getting like tossed around with swords, like he's like the last guy there. He's going on this rant about, I have a sick mom. I care about my family too. I want to survive too. It's like, if you want to survive, why are you doing this? It's stupid. You guys are stupid. Like, everyone here is stupid. And again,
Plot.
it's not the point.
Plot.
It's not the point. They just want to
Yeah.
get to the point where he can be solo leveler. And that's why I said these 2 episodes, I thought, and this is kind of stupid. This is why I don't watch as much anime as I do, because it's just weird tonal shifts, right? Invite me to lunch, and then let's have the super gory, like, very graphic ways of killing these people.
Yeah.
It's like, do you guys take this seriously or you don't, right? Because in the opening scene with the ants, those S ranks jump in.
Yeah.
They're all arrogant. Like, they're all, like, chatty while they're killing the ants. Like, it's nothing to them, right?
Yeah.
But and I think the guys who are not E rank when they're in the dungeons, like, they're kind of casually going through these dungeons like it's nothing for them.
Yeah, because it's
They underestimated like dungeon number 2.
yeah. Well, because it's a double dungeon, they explain, and that's something that at least never happened or never really happened. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I know, like, because we as like real world people, we know better than that. We've seen enough horror movies, enough like other animes to know, like, hey, that's not reported that maybe we shouldn't go there. There could be like a super boss in there or something like that. But to them, it's like, they underrate it because they're thinking this is a D rank dungeon. It's just another extension of the dungeon. But no, it's actually
I don't have an issue with them going to dungeon 2. I think that's fine.
Right.
It's just a decision of this main character.
Right, but our decision as if we were in that dungeon and we saw something that should this be
they
here?
voted, right? And he was the
Right,
deciding
but we
vote.
would have never voted to go in. None
Yeah.
of us would have, because
But
we're real world people.
But the weak guy, who is almost near death,
Right.
votes, I want to go, and he was the deciding vote.
and that was to progress the plot, because we know.
Yeah.
If it was real, none of us would have
And
went in
it's
there. So.
and it's stupid.
Yeah.
And that's just my issue. But other than that, I don't hate the show. I don't go really negative.
Right.
That's fine. No, I like that. I like that. No, it just made me think. You brought up a good point. Like what we watch. Think of American horror movies. How stupid are people in American horror movies? Oh no, there's a killer. Let me go into this dark place where I think I could be safe by myself.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And then they get killed by whoever the killer is.
modern horror movies, like they lampoon that. Like Scream was kind of a parody of those, or Scream 2. No, Scream, the first one. Like they're making a parody of those kinds of movies where people make dumb decisions. And also, that's supposed to be fun. Like, I never had any weird tonal shifts with Scream. This is a weird tonal shifts. Like, we're talking
Texas
about
Chainsaw Massacre. That's another one. Or what's some other things I've seen? Oh, X. I'm not sure if you've seen X.
I've seen X-Men.
Okay, no. What was that? The one with Mia Goth and who's a popular girl for Wednesday Addams? Jenna Ortega?
Ortega, yeah.
Yeah. That's some movie she was in. It's kind of horror. Well, yeah, it is a horror. Weird one, but...
Well, we could walk it back, because I know I jumped all the way to the end of episode 2.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, I get what you're saying. But I think for me, it's like, okay, it's acceptable for me because I kind of wanted to see what keeps moving forward with the anime. And then it's just one little thing that's all right. And then, but he did make a joke. Jin-Woo was like, while he was basically getting killed or getting pummeled to death, he said, "Oh man, if this would have if I knew this would have happened, I should have bought a juicier life insurance policy.
He actually said that. I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
he
Part.
did
Okay,
say that.
that makes sense why he would actually risk his life.
Because
Yeah.
you know, all the hunters there, they know that even if it's easy, it's still risky. They do have a potential for dying in these missions, and then so obviously they get life insurance policies. So him, yeah, he wants to come back to his family and all that kind of stuff, but he still has, like I said, life insurance. So he still has, even if he dies, he
would
still
help
has
his
money to
mom,
help pay
yeah,
for his
it's-
mom's bills and his sister's college. Blah,
Maybe
blah,
he
blah.
should have died.
Should have died. That would have been the end of
So
solo
the-
leveling.
So this show has no Phoenix Downs. You can't just resurrect someone.
I don't think so.
Spoiler talk.
Maybe
not
not.
yet.
Yeah, maybe not anyone in their guild, but
Yeah, because I don't know. Well, I guess we're leading in kind of towards episode 3, but yeah, like half the party that originally went to that dungeon, they end up dying, right? In that second double dungeon.
In episode 2.
Yeah,
right.
or by episode 3. No, it ends as episode 2, right?
Episode 2, he's like slaughtered, and then
Yeah, but it's
wakes
not
up.
until episode 3 where you finally see like the majority.
Then
of
we
them
see like the
die.
story start to begin, right?
Yeah. So then it keeps progressing, and then like, okay, I guess I could jump in here. Yeah, I could see how the beginning's kind of weak, but it's kind of establishing this world of solo leveling. You know, the intro, you see like them explaining that battleship, it couldn't help fight against those monsters because they know they can't hurt the monster. They can't fight the monsters because they can't do anything.
Did they say their weapons don't work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They basically explained that because these creatures are from another dimension, they're like magical beasts. So conventional weaponry, like our guns, our missiles, etc., don't affect them. And you need magical powers, a la the hunters, in order to kill those monsters. So you can only rely on people who are classed as hunters because they have kind of magical powers, whether even if that's physical magical powers, you know, whatever. In that world, in that sense, that's the only way you can defeat these monsters.
And I like the world that they built. Like the world building is fine.
So yeah, I like how they establish that early on, and then so you kind of get an expectation. Okay, this is what this world is about, and then moving on, you say it's 3 years later. You see Jin-Woo, and he goes into that dungeon, and you see that he's just like this. Oh man, this weak character. You know, he's like so like shy, or I don't know. He's like not humble. He's so meek. I don't know what's another word for like. He just seems so beta, you know.
Incelly?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, okay, sorry everyone for bothering you, or sorry everyone
Yeah,
for
it's
being
like
so
this
weak.
is not the career path you should be taking.
Yeah, so I kind of get it. It's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But I guess he has incentive enough monetary incentive at least to keep being a hunter.
I thought that because they said his mom got sick because of these portals popping up, so I thought that would be motivation. I thought that was gonna be the motivation for him, like, oh, because these are making my mom sick, I want to get rid of this dimensional travel stuff happening or
Oh,
something.
you bring up a good point there.
That's
So
gonna come
what
later.
if it hasn't been explained yet? But what if, like him becoming a hunter is maybe him trying to find a way to heal his mom?
Yeah,
So instead of just monetary incentive, there's also that incentive to try to get his mom back.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a good
They,
point.
I don't think that's
It's not. Yeah, it's
that's
not.
motive.
Yeah, I mean, good motive. It's definitely not established yet in what we've seen in the first 3
Oh, that's
episodes.
good. He say later. I was like, oh, I'm doing this because I want to stop this from happening.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know.
But he wouldn't do it as an E rank because he's not getting any stronger.
But if he parties up with other higher ranked hunters, then possibly.
Who makes the teams though? The guild leader.
Yeah.
Why would he throw an E rank?
I thought they assigned them. Oh,
Yeah, so there's the Guild Hunters Hunters Association,
Yeah.
right? And then there's different guilds. And then so in that little newscast they kind of had, like say, oh, there's a new portal that opened up in these areas.
And those are cool.
These E rank.
I thought that was
and
cool.
then, oh, we have A rank over here.
Yeah.
This will be handled within a week or in a couple days. So they're all the portals are assigned by the Hunters Association. And then, okay, so the Hunters Association, I think the guilds are based on the strength of the portals. They already know which guilds or which teams to assign to attack those portals. And so the way they kind of explain it is that if it's a high ranking one, you know, like I guess S, A, B, C, I don't know how high, what's considered high or not in this one. I'm assuming like D and E are really low level. So all of those will be assigned. And then there's also big monetary rewards from the loot, right?
Yeah.
So those are high ticket items for like the big guilds to handle or the big teams. And everything else is left over for the lower ranking guys, like the D ranks, C ranks, and the E rank, which seems to only be Jin-Woo.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's some others, but not as weak as him, apparently. And then so they get to have the leftovers, which is all these D rank dungeons or portals.
Portals, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
What was my question?
Yeah, what was it? There's something about how they get assigned, right? Or what was it?
Yeah. Something like that. I forgot. I like the world building.
Yeah, I think it's fun. It's something that, honestly, even like you said, that it's fresh to you, it kind of is fresh to me because I have seen other animes that are similar to this, but not in this same sense where, okay, you have the RPG element mixed in with the modern day society, like, world.
Yeah, is there an anime where there's actual leveling up? Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna exercise, and all of a sudden he's like twice as strong.
Actually, funny that you mentioned that because do you remember the regimen that the system assigns him as a daily? What is it?
The name? I don't know.
No, the system assigns him this daily quest.
Yeah.
to
He
level up.
ignored it.
He ignored it the first time. But if you see it, it's like do 100 push-ups, do 100 pull-ups, do 100, I don't know, jumping, I forgot, and like a 10 kilometer like run.
Yeah.
And then that's actually a throwback, not a throwback, but
To reference
a
something?
reference to One Punch Man.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that.
Saitama, yeah, One Punch Man, the other anime, One Punch Man.
Yeah.
You know, the ridiculously overpowered. Like,
Yeah.
it's just that funny anime. I mean, it's like just a trope for all animes.
Okay.
There's one guy that just power. Have you seen One Punch Man?
I've read like a snippet on the manga.
Oh,
so we used to
man.
get all these manga samplers.
Yeah. Actually, we should probably watch that. There's like 3 seasons, I believe. I like the first one really a lot. Second one is pretty good. I don't think I've watched the third one yet. So maybe we'll catch that next. But
After, well, I mean, if we're doing one episode a week, like,
yeah, then you should
we
be able
only
to
talk
catch up
about
to
so
that.
much. For
I mean, they're not that long, but it's a great example of someone who just kind of like does his regimen and becomes super powerful.
Yeah.
But in the case of One Punch Man, it's overly exaggerated.
yeah. In terms of like him getting stronger, or just how strong he gets.
Yeah, from just doing those exercises every day. It's not in the same sense as what's going to happen in solo leveling, what we see like the system and the daily quests, but the main character Saitama in One Punch Man, he just does this he was a normal person, then he did all these things, and then he's able to become like the strongest like superhero in that world. Like all it takes is one punch to basically obliterate anything.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence the name One Punch Man.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so getting to the point of solo leveling, it's, for me at least, I mean, I watch an okay amount of anime. I'm not nowhere near as much as like an anime obsessed, viewer or watcher, but I've watched some like you in the past, like in the 90s, 2000s, and I kind of stopped as, life, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of coming back. And so I'm trying to get myself accustomed to more of the newer stuff. Like, can you name some old anime that you probably watched as a reference point for what people can compare what you're familiar with?
Like a similar genre, like
Just any anime you've watched in the past that you kind of watched through, or most of it, or familiar with.
Well, Marky, you used to watch Legend of the Overfiend. Anyway, let's see. I watched like the original Dragon Ball before it was Z.
Oh yeah, that's really
Ronin
popular.
Warriors, Voltron.
Ronin Warriors.
Yeah, that was like late 90s.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The samurai looking guys.
Yeah.
I know Raymond told me about Kite. This is about this one girl, this underage girl getting raped.
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah.
That's not the whole premise, but that is in the movie.
That's how he sold it to me.
Grave of the Fireflies.
That was great.
That's a great movie.
That's more recent though.
Grade 5 was the 80s.
Oh yeah, right.
No, I watched Ranma one half. That was like the most popular anime at its time. Fist North Star. Oh, random 90s. Because we lived next to a anime rental shop, and I was like 10 or 11. I was introduced to hentai. It's like, yikes.
Oh man,
Say
the other
that.
side of anime. Oh, you mentioned Cowboy Bebop, right?
Well, yeah, that was like later on. That was like
Okay.
early 2000s.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, still, when you think 2000s, what year is it now? That's still 20 years ago.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
I think there's a gap from like the
90s,
early 90s to
2000s,
early
yeah.
2000s. Like, this is
For sure,
shit.
for sure.
Oh, Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Okay.
He's asking what anime I've watched.
Oh, okay.
Not that you left the room or anything.
I got you.
Definitely not going to cut that out. Yeah, Mark. I mean, I was just asking Raymond, like, what's his frame of reference like? Since Solo Leveling's like refreshing and new to him, what's
Premise, at least.
Yeah, the premise of it at least. And what animes have you watched or you're familiar with that you kind of grew up watching?
Oh, I don't know anything that's like that's relatively close to this because I grew up.
No,
watching,
just like whatever you watched.
Okay,
Yourself.
so I grew up watching for mostly the the VHS rentals from like Blockbuster, whatever they had. Like the manga. You remember the manga trailers that they would have for anime? The VHS with the flaming logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be like
Demon City?
Vampire Hunter D.
Vampire Hunter D.
Was Ninja Scroll. Yeah, the Demon City.
Demon City, Shinjuku.
Yeah, all those.
All of this is like on Tubi TV. Tubi is a great like trove of like classic anime.
Fisted North Star, all that stuff, yeah. And then I noticed like all the way to like maybe the mid to late 90s,
Yeah.
it started changing stuff like Escaflowne, Pokemon, all that stuff. It started transitioning, and then you get more CG and CG incorporated into the anime.
Okay.
But I'm more classic style.
End of Evangelion.
Yeah, that too. Hand drawn.
I still have no idea what that movie's about. But
Oh yeah, me too.
looks cool though.
I'm trying to remember.
I was big on Mecha.
The earliest
Gundam.
ones I remember was like Neon Genesis Evangelion. That
Yeah,
was like
the TV series.
yeah. So like I never had a chance to like rent or get anything myself. It'd always be something that my friends had and let me borrow. So it was always like copies of VHS tapes or even
Yeah.
DVDs at the time or CDs. I don't know if it was DVDs.
VCD.
Yeah, it was basically CDs with like video files in them. And then man, there wasn't too much. I mean, I watched Dragon Ball a little bit, so I was a fan of it, but I never really got to watching it entirely. So, but I was a fan of the character of that.
You're talking about the original Dragon Ball?
Yeah, the original Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was the intention of the creator. What's his name? Akira
Toriyama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then skipped a few years later, like maybe early 2000s. That's when I started getting into, or late 90s, like Naruto. I don't know if you guys got into Naruto.
I didn't get into it. My brother watched it though.
Then also at the same time Bleach.
No, that's when I kind of stopped at that
Yeah.
point.
Same.
Okay, so 2000-ish times. Yeah, that's when I started really getting into more anime.
Yeah.
So like my top 3 was Naruto, Bleach, and man, what's another one? Trying to
Kite.
forget. No. Maybe it'll come back to me. But Initial D. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't my big 3 for me. Oh, there's a boxing one. It was called
Hajime no Ippo.
Hajime no Ippo.
Okay.
You remember that, Marky?
I never seen it.
Oh,
but
you never
you were
seen-
big on
Oh,
it, so you kept
man.
talking about it.
Yeah, I thought that was so awesome. Boxing anime. Like there was animes for like every genre of sport, every kind of sport. There's a tennis one. There was a chess.
Actually, there's a boxing anime movie that came out last year. It's
What?
being considered like one of the greatest anime movies of like I don't know, years.
What's it called? Hajime no Ippo? That's-
No, I don't. It might, maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look it up after
Okay, yeah.
we're recording.
Look it up. I mean, I think there was a revival of that boxing anime I watched before. But I don't think it was ever as good as the original. But I don't know. I haven't really kept up. So from that time in the early 2000s, then it's like, okay. Then for a long time, I just stopped watching. Obviously, life, whatever, whatever happened. And then recently, it's like, oh man, I have my kid. He's starting to watch, shows and different animes too. I think like the new Naruto. It's called Boruto. Yeah, his son. Man, I can't get over it. It's just I can't get into that. But supposedly it's still popular.
Yeah.
Or even One Piece. That's the other huge one. Like I watched One Piece when it first started, but it's so long. I just couldn't keep up. I stopped like I don't know, maybe 200 episodes in.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they're like in 1,000 episode range or something like that. It's been going on
Yeah.
for like
Even the manga, I think, is like one of the longest running.
yeah, it's 20 years going, man. Or basically. So when I stopped with that, I just couldn't keep going. Anyways, getting to the point is that I'm getting more into the newer stuff. Like the new ones for me is like My Hero Academia. Not sure if you guys.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Okay, so I watched a little bit of that. I still haven't really got up to date. Another great one, which is widely popular, is Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'd say that's similar to Bleach in a way.
Is Yokai Watch? I heard that was pretty popular or something
Yokai?
like that. It like outdid Star Wars when Star Wars came out in Japan. Yeah,
It's like a Pokemon
yeah,
spin-off.
Right.
Or not spin-off, but a rip-off.
I don't know. Probably.
I'll have to check. If it's not like in the top like 5 or 10 of
Right.
the anime sites I watched, then I probably won't see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. I was just actually talking to some coworkers of mine, and they said like, yeah, man, there's so many to dive into. Honestly, you can only choose like one or two to watch, and then because otherwise you're never gonna like keep up.
It's seasonal too. They'll have a fresh new series of animes.
Yeah. So personally, for me, I'm probably gonna, of course, watch Solo Leveling just because it's new and we're talking about it.
Right.
So, and also try to keep up maybe with Jujutsu Kaisen. So that's another really popular one. So maybe we can get into that, Raymond. I don't know.
No.
We'll see. Or you know what?
One at a time.
Yeah. So, shoot, we kind of went off topic a little bit. I mean, well, not really.
Well, I feel like we kind of... Did we say everything we had to say about Solo Leveling?
Solo
You guys have anything to add?
We
were
get to
at
3.
Episode 3.
Did we really? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of got to
anything
that point.
Episode 3?
Without really explaining everything, I mean, we're assuming all the audience that's listening maybe have watched it or may be interested in watching it. If this is an anime that you guys would recommend others to watch,
Yeah, I think once you get into it, you'll probably get hooked because there's a lot of questions unanswered. They'll leave like, what are these statues? What of course they're overpowered. There's a whole like association trying to figure out what's going on too, and then there's talk about a second awakening for these players or for these hunters, right? And then apparently Jin-Woo isn't in second awakening. He just got the system, so it's allowing him to level up like beyond E rank.
yeah, not fully explained yet.
Not fully explained yet, but you see where it's going.
Yeah, we have
like,
a very small sample size.
yeah. So I mean, there's definitely like the really big parts that come in, like really big stuff.
Yeah, I just want to point out that this series Solo Leveling is completed in the manga or manhwa, so there is a complete story to tell. When I did a little research on this, it equates to a few years of anime. So just just to put that in perspective, and we're just at the very beginning of this. So there's a lot more that we're bound to see if we keep going with this.
Yeah, and the books are out in Barnes and Noble.
Oh, I didn't know
discounted.
that. Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's like a 6-pack. It's like, I don't know, 20% off. That's not a big discount, but
Barnes and Noble? Maybe I'll check it out.
yeah.
Me too.
I think it's online
Yeah,
only. Yeah,
I agree about it.
Or maybe I'll just stick with the anime so I can just keep with that.
We gotta wait every Saturday where you can jump ahead with the...
Yeah.
Shonen Jump.
So
love
based on
Shonen
all
Jump.
this, how about you, Raymond? I mean, is this a recommend for you for others, or how are you feeling? Still not there?
Well, I mean, again, it's a small sample size, and we talked about how we all kind of fell off anime and came back. Like, why did you guys fall off anime? Not to derail your question. I'll answer your question.
Circle
but,
back to that.
Like, why did you
Marky?
fall off? Like,
Yeah,
I fell off like in the early 2000s, like after Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I think it was life because I didn't have as much expendable time. I mean, I don't now, but I did back then. But
I mean, you were watching something. You just weren't watching anime.
yeah, I don't know. Probably more internet surfing than anything.
Nice.
Yeah,
The internet.
yeah, it was the
ruined
internet
anime.
more than anime.
How about yourself, Raymond? I mean, I
So
think you have a bigger gap than
I'm thinking it's
either of us.
everything just started to feel kind of samey. It's like I've seen the harem anime, the what's it, the power fantasy anime, which I think this is turning into.
Oh, like Dragon Ball. Yeah, like how it's just.
Yeah, and I never liked Dragon Balls.
Right.
It's just so much filler. So
Yeah,
redundant.
it did.
Yeah,
Or
and
it
Dragon
does.
Ball Z was everywhere on Toonami at the time. To answer your question, I think the parts that frustrated me, well, not frustrated, but parts I didn't like the sort of the shyness around girls and all that. Like that's such a trope I've seen in so many animes.
It is.
It's like you watch an action cartoon and the ending has like a love song.
What about the?
I know this one does. I don't know the ending to this one, but
What about the one where the guy sees something he's not supposed to on the girl and then she slaps him? Like it's like
yeah,
like
the
he
big sweat
knocks him
mark
out,
on his
right.
head,
Yeah,
the hash mark,
Yeah.
and I thought this is seeing dumb.
The bleeding nose.
The bleeding nose. Like the exaggerated
Yeah,
facial
yeah,
features.
Yeah.
Some of those tropes are in those first two episodes, and I don't know. You asked me if I recommend it to a fan of anime or just someone who just wants to watch something.
Both or either.
I guess for this small sample size, go for it because I think the world is pretty cool, and this is original to me, like this premise, and I know it's not.
Well, for someone similar to your situation, like haven't watched anime in a while, and maybe you want to jump back into it, is this something that you would recommend also to someone like in your similar situation? Like, hey, I'm catching this new anime. I think I've been enjoying it so far. I think you should watch it too.
I would say watch Cowboy Bebop. It's the greatest second greatest anime TV series ever made.
Okay. Wait. Wait a minute.
Oh man.
Don't say Ranma is your first.
Oh, I have nostalgia for Ranma. Ranma was groundbreaking at the time.
I don't know. It's no Trigun. Oh man.
I watched Trigun. I watched all of it.
Dragon's
I
okay.
love Trigun.
Not the new one. They made like a new movie.
Oh yeah, I think I haven't seen that. I see the older one. Only.
Yeah.
So, interesting point. I've never watched Cowboy. Well, not never, but I've hardly seen any Cowboy Bebop.
Wow.
Yeah, and I know that was a wildly popular anime back in the day.
I'd say start with the live action, and
The Netflix one.
That's it. Just watch the
Netflix one.
yeah. Watch John Cho.
That got
and-
canceled.
What? No, don't do that.
Did you finish it? I finished it.
No, I didn't finish
Did you
it.
finish it? I finished it at
Let's
least.
let's review it on the podcast.
Yeah, that'll be the next.
You finished
time.
it.
I finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the worst.
So that was your intro to Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And, spoiler. It makes me not want to watch it anymore. Unfortunately.
The anime.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I did try to put it on, but it's kind of dated, so I can't really get into it. And there's so much more on my
guess
plate to watch.
The visuals are dated. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, visuals and just things don't land with me. Like,
It is a slower paced
yeah,
show, I guess.
like I need to get just right into the action, like what I felt with Solo Leveling or any other anime I'm
Oh,
watching.
the opening is like really slow, right? It's like they're just smoking a cigarette and like hanging out in the spaceship.
Yeah.
Like at a time before, maybe 20 years ago, yeah, I could have been fine with that. But now,
You like Trigun more because you were able to watch.
You need it more fast paced.
entirely-
yeah, Vash the Stampede. Okay.
Yeah.
It just get right into the action. Well, no, it was kind of slow in the beginning a little bit, and then
I remember it had a big tonal shift like halfway. It was like a comedy that became
Yeah.
like this serious drama,
kind of.
and a
I'm trying to
character
remember-
dies.
I'm trying to remember it. Oh, what's the other one I liked? The sand one, where there's a guy with a suit and he was like a sniper. You guys know what that is? Oh, I'm trying to remember what it's called. And I'll have to jot down a note.
I like this is more about reminiscing on old anime instead of
Instead of solo level.
solo leveling.
So, I mean, it's all combined because it's anime and just thinking about, okay, what have we watched? What's it similar to? And like, I mean, for those out there that have maybe similar situations like us, like we've watched some anime, we've kind of stopped, and now we're coming back into it. Is there a reason, like you said?
I will say that this show is making us nostalgic for the stuff we watched in the past. Like we watched Pluto, and we didn't have nostalgia for it.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's kind of popular, right? Pluto is popular.
I don't know. Is it still popular?
Kind of
Like
is.
3 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, not for us, but in the out world.
I haven't followed up like on the internet discourse.
Okay, I see it's pop up from once in a while, but only because it's like the popularity of Astro Boy.
Yeah.
we kind of talked about it. It's weird that it's popular, but not really. I don't know how to, it's not mainstream popular, but it's popular.
Okay. Well,
in that kind of sense.
It didn't really spark nostalgia for
Yeah.
the stuff we watched in the past.
So that's why I think, for me at least, when I watch Solo Level, it kind of reinvigorates.
There's something there.
Yeah, there's
I would
something
agree with
there.
that.
There's something magical.
Well, I don't know about that, but
A little bit, at least.
I think it's the tropes that made my eyes roll. It's like, oh, I remember watching this stuff and enjoying it when I was younger.
But then those are like small parts, right? Compared to like the
Yeah,
actual story.
being shy and just being a wimp, and then
Those are little parts, man.
no, but that's the stuff that sparked. Like I used to enjoy this kind of stuff,
And then you're gonna get
and
to
I got tired of it. But then it's like, oh well, I guess I could. Like, I'm still gonna watch it. I don't hate the show. It's just
okay. So I'm in agreement there. For myself, everything was it's a hit for me. Like I enjoyed the first episode. It like introduced me into the world. Like you said, you like the world building. I loved it too. It's like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is interesting. And then I get it already that it's going to be a zero to hero story with Jin-Woo. I mean, it's obvious from the beginning. Also, if you watch the intro, I mean, don't skip it next time.
no.
Yeah, you'll see
automatic.
That, he becomes powerful enough to solo
Yeah.
monsters himself.
Yeah.
So, you get where the story's going. And this is his story of his evolution to that point.
And I assume these monsters will get out of the portal and enter the real world, and he's like the only one who can really
Powerful enough. Or, someone that's capable enough. Yeah, true.
Well, that's like 30, that's like 40, 50 episodes in. I don't know if I'm gonna.
Who knows?
The
Unless they
patience
speed
to-
run it. I kind of watched some recaps myself, so I know a little bit more about this this anime than what we've seen from the episodes. So, yeah, there's some things that happen, but they also mentioned that there are differences between the manga and the anime. Like they kind of mix things up in the story, so that we as viewers of the anime can kind of understand the story from the get go. Like the whole beginning island part, that's not in the manga until like.
It's like foreshadowing or something.
Yeah, it's not foreshadowing. It's more of like it happens later on in the manga, and for us as anime viewers, it's beginning, so it establishes what world that we're watching, and we're not just seeing Jin-Woo from the start and him nearly dying. Like, what the hell's going on?
I think another strength of this show is there's the exposition dumping. It didn't feel like any part dragged when they had to explain stuff to us.
Yeah, it kind of flowed way better than Rebel Moon, huh?
Yeah, so I'm saying it's a reference to like they were able to get that information to us without us feeling like, oh god, here we go.
And
Zack Snyder
much
took
less
some
time,
notes.
24 minutes.
Yeah,
Zack Snyder, take notes.
he doesn't take notes.
Yeah, we should
He just-
recommend
he rapes notes or something.
Jeez. Oh gosh, recommend this anime to him.
He does have an animated movie. You should watch it.
Oh boy, that'll be another one. Yeah, like I was saying, I really got into this anime. The first episode got to me like, oh, okay, it's cool. I mean, yeah, it is weaker of the three, but I mean, it's just establishing the world and just getting introduced to these characters and understanding what's kind of going on.
What's weaker of the three?
The
First
first episode is the
Oh, no,
weakest.
first episode. Okay.
Yeah, first episode is weakest of the three episodes. I mean, apparently, because it's just world building and establishing characters and all that. Second episode, obviously, it's jumping right into like what's happening with the double dungeon that's never happened before.
Yeah.
Like you're getting thrown into the situation of like, oh shoot, what's going to be happening to our main character, and like what's, I guess, elevating the story.
Yeah.
And by the third episode, it's like, okay, this is how it's going to happen.
So I wonder if this guy's like main character's name again is
Jin-Woo.
Jin-Woo. I wonder if like his wits are gonna play a role in this show going forward, because we didn't really talk about this. The second dungeon, he's solving all these puzzles.
Oh yeah,
Like they read the commandments. He like innately knows like,
He's like Batman level.
yeah, it's like, oh, bow to him, like revere or something.
Well, they briefly explained that, because he says that since he's always in danger and like,
he
everything
observes.
to him, is life threatening to him because he's so low ranked.
Yeah.
That he's aware of the dangers around him because he has to. Otherwise, like a low level goblin could potentially kill him.
Yeah, but he still gets slashed by the goblins anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, he has an awareness to him.
Yeah.
So he's more aware of like, okay, so The first one was that you have to, was it praise God?
I think you have to like that look
Yeah.
away, like bow your head.
So like anyone that tried to run away or get up would get killed,
Stand up,
right?
yeah.
In that
The
second dungeon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he figures out if you praise God, you not praise, but you revere God. I forgot what the rules were.
What was the second one?
Second
Do you
was to
remember?
praise.
So they had to run to the statues that had like instruments.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
the
like
third one
the
was
first part
altar,
was
yeah.
okay, you have to bow or keep your head down, so that
Yeah.
the big statue wouldn't blast you with like laser or whatever
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Or so keep your head down and bow to the god. And the second one is okay, now you have to show him praise or something.
Like I prayed to him.
Yeah. So there are other statues around that circular dungeon, and some have weapons, and others have
The way you figure that out, that's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'll suspend my disbelief and say, okay, that's cool. Maybe he has this gift,
Yeah.
right? Like he's intelligent in the sense that
Yeah.
he could navigate these dungeons.
Yeah, it's interesting that he could do that because all the other guys, they're like higher level hunters, right? At least higher compared to Jin-Woo right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the E rank and they're all D or above. And so they're used to actually like fighting the monsters and
Mm-hmm.
doing this. So they're probably not really into like puzzle solving,
Yeah.
right? Because they're more into like just brutally attacking and just clearing out a dungeon through brute force, right?
Yeah, it's like Persona to them, but for this guy, it's like a Zelda dungeon.
Yeah. So he has to
Here's a deep cut.
yeah, use his wits, right? So, and then he's able to figure out, oh, okay, you have to run to the statues with instruments so they could play a music or sound to praise the god.
But and I will say, like, even though that's a stretch, I can suspend my sense of disbelief there. It's like, okay, we get it. Like he has this ability to observe it, because it's kind of weird still that he figured that out, but that works there. The other states I talked about earlier, those don't work for me. This one works.
This one works.
Yeah.
I think it. I mean, it's not that far fetched to think that you could figure that out, because if you go in front of a statue with a weapon, you get killed, right? So-
Right. Someone did that earlier.
Yeah,
in the
someone already
scene,
did
yeah.
that, so you can kind of deduce.
You don't get bashed with the instrument? Like someone had a trumpet? How do you know?
No.
That's okay.
I mean, they tested it out. They went to
He tried
an
it,
instrument, and then sure enough, it was safe. So that was true. So it's kind of yes, the wits, but also trial and error. I mean, because in the beginning when he stood up, he was about to get blasted until he bowed. Mm-hmm. And so if he was wrong, like the first guy that tried, he said, "Oh, let me praise God. I'll go walk up to the second part.
He was praying or something.
I'll praise him by saying words." But then that hunter just gets squashed.
Yeah.
He gets stepped on.
And
by
what
a
was
huge
his
statue.
what was his reasoning? Jin-Woo? It's like, oh, you're praying like the wrong way or something.
Yeah, I think because I didn't really see
Wrong religion. Or
Yeah,
something.
it felt like whatever that one hunter that was trying to praise that statue god or
Yeah.
whatever, it probably might have been like a prayer or praise for like some other
I see.
god.
Yeah.
Like say, okay, I don't want to put real world stuff here, but it's like if someone was, I don't know, two religions, like someone's Buddhist and someone's Catholic, and you're trying to say like Catholic prayers to a Buddhist, monk statue, like the wrong religion. You know what I mean? In that kind of sense.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
I see what you're saying.
So there is this one I think scene that took me out. It was when he got punished for not training. He went to a desert with a bunch of centipedes. And I thought it was 4 minutes of trying to like survive, but it was 4 hours. And he's running like Usain Bolt for 4 hours. I just like, how is that? Can he do that? Like, that's how I knew. Like, oh man, this guy's like, I don't know. It just took me out. Like, this guy's never gonna die. This
marathon
guy's,
running,
he's
man.
too impossible. He's
It's a
too
marathon.
invincible.
He basically did a marathon.
But in every scene, they didn't show him like just resting for a little bit. He was running in every scene.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap.
Like a marathon.
I think he ran for 4 hours.
Yeah, right.
He just kept running for 4 hours because that was a punishment.
For me, I could suspend my sense of disbelief. I don't know if I'm saying that phrase a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I can take it there because it's also kind of comical too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It took me out because it was
comical.
it was
I think
totally
it's played
it
for
was
comedy.
totally different when
Yeah.
I'm taking it as like a serious anime. you
Well,
know?
there's tonal shifts here. It's
Right.
That's kind of silly, right? That whole sequence.
threw me out.
But it's super gory in Dungeon too. It's like we don't need to see this much blood. And this is the kind of show you want to be.
Yeah. Well, it makes it exciting.
Maybe if you guys into like gore porn,
Not that gore. I've seen more gory stuff. This
Yeah.
is not,
Okay.
like
But the gore's not silly. Like Mortal Kombat gore is kind of fun. Old Mortal Kombat.
have you guys watched Berserk?
Have you seen the Netflix?
Yeah.
Berserk. Yeah. I
Dude,
have.
if you're talking about gore, like porn, Berserk, dude, that anime is just like beyond gore porn. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like it's beyond hard R. It's like NC-17.
Yeah. Well, there's rape in
anime.
there too. Yeah.
Is it more intense than A Legend of the Overfiend?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, but I mean, wait.
Are
How do you
sure?
know?
In Berserk?
Dude,
Dude, that
have you
whole
seen?
hell scene?
Have you seen Urutsu?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
Don't
well,
watch
maybe
it.
not. I don't know.
Don't watch it with your kids.
Okay. But anyways, you get my point. Like, there's more gory stuff out there.
Oh, sure,
compared to,
sure.
Yeah, Solo Level.
But does it make sense? Does it make sense tonally with that show or movie? Probably does. I think Berserk is a reboot of something older, or no?
It's like a
It's a reboot of the original.
a remake
Berserk.
of the original. Yeah.
Yeah, of the
Yeah.
original animation.
I vaguely remember
It's
the older
almost.
one.
It's pretty close to the original too. It's just better animation.
So tonally, I think it fits, right?
the whole running, like,
No, Berserk.
oh,
Berserk.
yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they wouldn't throw something like that where he's like, comical running in the death.
Yeah, no.
There are
Berserk is-
moments of comedy in the show. Yeah, I'm put off by the tonal. I'm put off by the tonal shifts too.
Anyways, back to Solo Leveling. So
But yeah,
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Berserk
That's
is.
what I'm talking about.
We recommend that.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, but you're also talking about you're talking about anime that has a main character that sees a screen only by himself of a
Yeah,
player.
no,
So,
that's pretty cool too.
It's
I
like,
it.
okay, so it is kind of comical, or it kind of suspend your disbelief. It's different in a real world setting. So
That's right. Remember, he's on the park bench, and he's like talking to himself, and
Yeah.
everyone like stares at him,
everyone's looking around. It's like,
and he's just laughing to himself.
But Juhi was also there, and I guess.
What's that?
Juhi. They left Juhi on a cliffhanger. Like she just.
That's right. She came to visit him with flowers, and then
Yeah.
she turned around and left
yeah, the healer friend,
because
yeah.
he was like jogging outside.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I mean, they
that's
didn't really explain
I
that.
assume that's going to be.
I know
resolved
she's
later
she's
on.
mentally scarred, right, from that
Right.
dungeon, because she nearly died. She saw everyone around her like just get obliterated, and then she's just like, they even said, yeah, she's just
Traumatized.
Traumatized, yeah.
Yeah, and that's realistic.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, no, that makes sense for what she saw, but it's the tonal shifts in the shows.
Yeah,
It's
explain it.
off-putting.
Well, maybe they'll expand on it later or something.
Sure, yeah, it
Or
is
maybe
still a
not.
small sample size.
Or maybe she's gone after this. Who knows?
Uh,
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see in the next episode or so. But I think kind of in her sense, because you remember when she last saw Jin-Woo, he was missing a leg, he was missing an arm. He was basically dying. He was about to die.
I think she exhausted herself trying to.
Yeah, she exhausted her
revive
trying to
him?
heal him.
She got judo chopped.
Yeah, but she got judo chopped, so she got knocked unconscious by
I forgot.
by the party leader in order to escape, right? The last three, and then the party leader took Juhi to escape and left Jinwoo to sacrifice himself for, supposedly. But then, he got through the whole leveling system. They call it the system. So I don't know how else to explain it besides it's called the
That
system.
scene ran like a little too long, where they're just tossing around their swords, throwing them around.
Oh, I read that. In the webtoon, Manhwa, it's actually shorter, but the anime they made it. They extended it that
Okay.
scene.
That's an artistic choice. Then.
Yeah, they
Made by
purposely
them.
made it like he was what do you call it? Tortured a whole lot more in the anime.
Yeah, and he was alive, like to feel it all. No passing out.
They
no.
played with their food.
Like even my son's like, man, if that's a real life, that he should have been dead like 5 minutes ago, or should have been dead from
Yeah.
the beginning. But whatever. So, anyways,
He's like, I want to live too. It's like, I don't know if you do.
The statues were like, "Don't kill him yet."
wait for that blue flame.
Wait,
It's
I
almost
want to
out.
try it.
My turn. And it's like, oh, I should have had a bigger life insurance policy. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I like it. I'm definitely wanting to see where this anime goes and how we get to the point of seeing him just like power leveling and becoming the uber hunter that he's gonna be based on like what we've seen so far. So that's my take on it. as far as expectations, it definitely met my expectations and slightly even exceeded it because I didn't know what to expect. I've never seen any manga. I never knew anything about it. I just saw on my anime site that it was a top recommended anime to watch. So I was like, all right, let me check this out. And I saw it. I was like, man, it's pretty good. And I saw some recaps about it and everyone like just praising it. I was like, okay, this has got to be it. So like Raymond mentioned, we were supposed to watch MF Ghost, which is the Initial D like sequel anime. But after seeing Solo Leveling myself, I was like, oh, dude, we got to switch to this one. This is awesome. And then
So MF Ghost is not that good.
it's different. I mean, as a fan of Initial D anime myself, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. But I see for someone like you who has never really watched the Initial D anime and it's just new to it, it's like it's probably not as captivating. It doesn't really.
Are there any callbacks to Initial D in the first episode?
In the first episode, I don't know if in the first episode. I mean, aside from the racing,
Oh,
yeah,
I think there's no racing in the first episode.
there isn't. I thought there was.
He's about to go, and then it cuts.
Oh, he doesn't race, but the other racers.
Oh, there's shots of racing.
Yeah,
in general.
yeah. So I mean, that's the whole Initial D. It's about racing.
Well, that's
I
about
didn't-
this guy racing.
So I never saw that MF Ghost episode. But was Takumi in there?
No,
Oh no, not at all.
no,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay.
It's a different cast, right? Entirely.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I mean, there are characters from the previous anime that show up in there, but
Yeah.
it's like side characters
Okay.
and stuff. Well, depends if we ever get into it. We'll see.
that first episode it's pretty stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to you have to watch a lot of it to really get
Yeah.
into it. So it's a hard sell in the beginning.
Let's focus on the teenage girl. Let's
There we
take
go
selfies in the end credits for some reason. It's a weird episode.
Okay, enough of that. Back to Solo Leveling. All right, so we're all in agreement. Pretty good anime, right?
Yeah.
At least for the first 3 episodes, we're pretty intrigued. I don't know if anything else you guys want to add to this.
No.
It's the strength is the world building. I would compare it to Attack on Titan, the world they built, like the walls and the details
yeah.
they went through with it.
Yeah, especially in the beginning when he didn't know what the hell was going on. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that's I've only seen the first like 15 episodes of that show, and I have a lot of the manga, and yeah, it reminds me of that. Like I think this is the strength of a lot of I guess popular anime. Other than that, there's some dumb moments in the show, but overall, it's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Marky?
Yeah, no, I tend to be in favor of like these overpowered like
Yeah, you are.
animes, especially now it's like knowing it's like an RPG style. I mean, I play. That's how I play my RPGs. I like to level up like overpowered before even getting to the first boss.
No, like in
which
the
stat
first.
do you-
Yeah,
When you leave their first town,
yeah.
you
So
fight the rabbits in the trees.
I'll spend hours and hours
For, like,
leveling
days.
up, right? Days maybe
Power level your
before meeting the
character.
first boss. Yeah,
before you even add to your party.
exactly.
One hit a boss. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting to that point. Yeah. So
You're the random encounter to the boss.
Right. They try to
That's
flee.
He tries to flee.
So outside of the 3 episodes that are available to watch and what we've seen, recaps I've watched personally, yeah, if you like that, Marky, then yeah, this is definitely the anime for you to watch.
Right.
So, just saying, it's going to get to that point. So spoilers for everyone else. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what we got for this. I mean, we all felt pretty good, pretty positive. All good things to chat about this anime, and looking forward to the new episodes coming out. I think every Saturday, at least for us, right? Something like that.
I don't know. It's once a week.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Yeah.
every week. So looking forward to it. I think we all are, and expect us to be reviewing this regularly. So, you guys got any final words? Anything else?
No, that's all I have.
Raymond's Letterbox.
Oh, we're doing plugs? Yeah, Letterboxd. Letterboxd.com. My username is paid lunch break. Capital P, capital L, capital B. Yeah, I just reviewed 101 Dalmatians.
Nice, got one in.
There you go.
And Letterboxd for me, Work Time Fun podcast. I haven't reviewed anything yet, but I think I will be because I've watched quite a few movies that are pretty good. So
Yeah, no, I'm probably gonna go look into other recaps of other animes to decide if I want to watch the series or anything like that. Probably more power fantasy based ones.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay, I'll take a look at that.
We'll see. I maybe recommend. I think we already established solo leveling is going to be a regular for us, and maybe one more, or we'll see. So I think that wraps it up for us. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed our little discussion here, and hope you'll tune in again. So until next time, have a fantastic day. Hey guys, thanks for listening to our show. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback for us, we greatly appreciate that. If you can send us an email to worktimefunpodcast@gmail.com, or you can send us a message at X, formerly known as Twitter, and our handle is @worktimefunpod. Thanks again.